probably, oh, I don't know, points on this quiz. What is it, 30 points to a quiz, at least 15, will be knowing how to do these bond props that we did last time in this time, right? Okay, read the chapter 2 and know everything else in the chapter, right? Be familiar with it in case I ask other stuff, right? Okay, but for sure, there'll be at least 15 points to this. Knowing how to do this one problem, huh? Right? And then on the test, there'll probably be, what is it, 4 chapters on this next test or something? 4 or 5, there'll be 20 or 25 points. Right? Really? And then on the final, it'll be there. There'll be another 20, 25 points for being able to do this. So you know the remaining points, right? Each chapter, I told you that last time, I think. Each chapter is sort of a problem, standalone. You know, one big monster problem. From here on out, you can get it wired, you can get it wired, you can get it wired. Okay? So you guys, you have to quit convincing yourselves that you sort of know something and you'll be okay. How did that work on this exam? You sort of knew it, didn't you? I'm almost unanimous, right? There may be 4 or 5 people that really had the stuff wired, right? And most of you just sort of knew some stuff and were hoping that I'd ask something you happen to know. That's not going to happen, right? I've been doing this way too long. I know how to ask stuff you don't know, right? Unless you really know it. So, anyway, all right. Actually, I could do that right at the beginning. Oh, I didn't want to do that, did I? Single page. Here it is. All right. So, last time, what did we do? Oh, the projector's not on. I turned it off for that. There we go. All right. Last time we did a bond with a discount. Let's do one with the premium, okay? So, last class I managed to get a discount rate that was not popular. Not in the tables, so what should I do? Or number of periods or something. Okay, so this is a bond, huh? Face amount of the bond. You'd have a company name on the bond. We do all this electronic nowadays, but let's make it a, I don't know, let's make it a $1 million bond. Okay? All right? And let's have stated interest rate, so printed on the bond, stated interest rate of, oh, I don't know, 9%. 9%? Okay. And then let's say the number of periods is 5 years, but it's semi-annual. What do you need to do right away? Yeah, it's only going to be 4.5 every 6 months, right? Semi-annual 9% is 4.5%. So my interest is going to be based on 4.5%. 4.5% of what? The $1 million. How much is that? $42,500. Is that right? 45,000. Where did I get that? 45,000. Probably doing the last class. Okay, 45,000. Because 9% would have been 90,000, right? So it's 45,000. 45,000. How many times? It's 10 times, right, guys? 5 years semi-annual is 10 periods. N equals 10, right, guys? Okay, times 10 payments. It's always the same payment. You assume the interest rate doesn't change. What do we just define? An annuity, right? This is an ordinary annuity payment, isn't it? Okay, so that's an ordinary annuity. So how many dollars is it going to be in interest total? You know, 45,000 for 10 payments. What is it? 450,000. Okay, so we're going to value that interest, and then what else are we going to value? Well, the principal, right? The million, right? Because that's going to change hands at the end. Okay, so we need one other piece of information. What's that? In order to do this, I want to discount these cash flows to value the bond. That's all it is. I'd like to know the market, effective yield rate, whatever we want to call it. Okay, so what would the market rate? We said we're going to do one that's a premium this time, right? Because we did a discount last time. Would the market rate be higher or lower? Let's see. If it's selling for a premium, everybody wants it, right? That's why they're bidding the price up. When would everybody want it? If it pays more or less than 9%, or if the market expects more or less than 9%. The market expects more than 9%, or if it pays more? pays more than the market expects. There you go, okay? Right? So if the market expects 8% for the risk level and it pays 9, how many people want it? Would you guys be happy to get 9% interest on something that should only earn 8? Of course you would. You'd be thrilled, right? Okay? So everybody's going to bid on it, bid the price up until it pays what? 8. That's what's going to happen, okay? So let's say market is 8%, okay? Let's do that. This thing should sell at a premium, right? Because everybody wants it. It's going to sell at a premium. When would it sell at a discount? We got a 9% stated rate. If the market rate is what? 10, 11, 12, more, right? And the discount will get bigger and bigger, right? The higher the interest rate goes. The premium will get bigger and bigger the lower interest rate goes. Got it? Okay, I want you to value this thing. There's only two things you're valuing. You are valuing this $450,000 of interest, right? $45,000 a period for 10 periods, right? And you are valuing this $1 million up here, right? That you are going to receive when? 10 periods from now, N is 10, right? And the interest rate you're going to use, now be careful, we're using the 4.5%, that's the stated rate, right? That's stated. We're using the stated rate to determine the cash flow. What are we going to use to discount? The market, but it's 8% a year, and this is every 6 months, so what rate are you going to use? 4%. Got it. Okay? So use 4. So do it real quick. Give me the value of that bond if you can. That you can. I made my own fruit smoothie this morning. It was different from life. So it doesn't have any rabbit food in it. It's so much better. Spinach got left out.
Why are we doing an interest rate of 4% instead of 4.5?
Okay, we computed the cash flow using the stated rate.
Right.
So this is 9% a year or 4.5% for half a year. That's the stated rate. So $1 million times 9% would be 90. Cut it in half is 45, or cut the interest rate in half to 4.5 times $1 million is 45. That's the cash flow. But the market wants to earn 8 a year, so I'm going to discount it 4%. I'm using the 4% because that's what the real interest rate is, the effective or market yield rate. Got it?
So I'm going to do, so the future value is 1 million plus.
Well, present value. I'm discounting. I'm getting $1 million 10 periods from now, right?
Right.
And I'm going to discount it at 4%. So I'm going to discount. I want the present value of $1 million 10 periods from now, discounted at 4%. And I want the present value of the annuity payments, right? So I'm getting those in the future too. I know the future value. I want the present value. Got it? So what this bond's going to pay off is $1,450,000. I want to know how much I'm willing to pay for it. Yeah, I want to know how much I'm going to pay for it now. But that future value is $1 million 5 years from now, 10 periods from now, right, guys? And $45,000 at the end of each period for 10 periods. It's two things. The interest is an annuity, and the principal is a lump sum. Got it? Now you're there. Okay? You know what, you guys? It's seeing what the deal is that's hard. Not calculating present values, huh? I know we just learned how to do present values, right, or relearned it. So it's still fuzzy, but this will make it more solid. But now the hard thing is, do you understand the business deal? If you know the business deal, you can calculate it, okay? Right? By the way, tell yourself you can do this, okay? And do it. You don't have to if you want to, right?
I'll let someone look.
Tell them a piece of paper. Actually, they'll give you a piece of paper. They don't have to pay it back. Because they already paid it, right? For a piece of paper. Good. I went to a real important meeting about a week ago. I showed up without any paper or anything to write with. All I had was my phone. So I finally gave up. Just asked somebody to sit next to me. I'm a polite guy to bring your name. They laugh a little. They won't get it. Yeah. Try to go like those. Yeah.
Usually it's like in my car.
I'm amazed with people. Some people go to meetings, they've got their, their laptop, or the iPad, No, I like real paper. Everybody got a value? It isn't too hard, is it? Hard thing is figuring out what the deal was. Okay, so what do? We've got $1 million, so I have a future value 10 periods from now of $1 million, I guess? No matter which side of the deal you're on, if you're borrowing money or you're lending the money, right? If you're selling a bond or buying a bond, right? If you're investing or issuing. Okay, anyway, when is that going to be? 10 periods from now, because it was 5 years, right? Interest rate, 4%, because the market rate is 8, and we're only doing it for 6 months, right? So 4%. So that's 1 over 1.04. We're discounting, right? Raised to the 10th. And that'll give me its present value now. That's how much I'd pay for the $1 million principal, because that's what it's worth. Okay? If the rate of interest should be 4%. Okay? All right, so what does that factor? If you look at present value to sum table, 4%, 10 periods, what do you get? 0.6756. What's worth 68 cents? $1 received 10 periods from now, discounted at 4%. If you invest 68 cents and you leave it at 4% compound interest, it'll grow to $1 after 10 periods. That's it, right? That's why it's worth that much. But it's not $1, it's $1 million, right? So take 1 million times it. What's the whole million worth right now? 675, 600. People really do this and really decide how much they're going to pay for things this way. How they're going to determine your car payment, your house payment, how much you get when you retire out of your annuity or if you buy an annuity. Hey guys, this is what we're going to do. Do you want to be able to do it yourself? Or you just want to be at the mercy of somebody else that knows how when you're negotiating how much? Oh man, you're dead meat, aren't you? You don't know how. So learn how. You can do this. And I know I'm asking you to do it fast, but that's because your time is really valuable, right? But yes, sir.
Do you want us to use like the 0.6756, or can we do like 1 million times the 1 over?
Oh, you can use a calculator and do it with the formula, or you can use, if you have a nice calculator, you can just calculate the present value there, it'll be more accurate.
I use the one in the book, and he used the 1 over 1.4 to 10.
Oh, this is
a little different.
Okay, so it's slightly different, yeah. Actually, it's more accurate if you use your calculator.
Really?
Because in the tables, they truncate. They cut off the end of it, right? They round, right? So if you had decimal places forever that your calculator will keep, you get a better answer. Okay? But the tables are kind of handy, I guess. If you want to use them, that's fine. If you got a nice calculator, use your calculator. Right? Okay, just make sure you know what the calculator's doing. Have an idea what the number should be. Right? Okay. And then we've got an ordinary annuity payment, right? That's the interest. Ordinary means the end of the period. The ordinary annuity payment is how much? 45,000, 10 times. So we're valuing 450,000, aren't we? N is still 10. Interest rate is still 4%. And what this is annuity factor is 10 factors added up, right? 1 period, 2 periods, 3 periods, up to 10 periods. Add them all up, and you got it. Okay? So, and that's of course going to be less than 10 because it's present value. You're taking interest out. You can get you on the right table if you're using tables. So what was that factor?
8.01.
Okay, what's worth $8.11? $10 received $1 at the end of each period for 10 periods, all discounted at 4%. Right? That's it. Okay, so 45,000 times 8.1109. How much is the interest worth?
864,991.
991. Okay. If this is what the principal is worth, and that's what the interest is worth, what's the whole thing worth? Add them up. Add them together, and what do you get? It's going to be more than $1 million, isn't it? And we are not surprised because this is going to sell for a premium. Because everybody wants it, they're going to bid the price up. Right? If the market rate is less than the state
rate. We're going to pay for the bond?
This is what we're going to pay for the bond. Yeah, got it. That's a nice insight. That's where we're going. All we're doing is figuring out what the bond's worth. And by the way, you might say, well, the bond's worth whatever it's selling for in the market. Well, guess what? People don't just pay whatever it's selling for in the market. They have to decide whether they're going to buy it. Is it priced right? You want to know whether or not it's priced right before you buy it. Otherwise, you can go buy yourself a new car. My wife wants a car right now that has a $38,000 sticker price. You think I'm going to pay $38,000 for that car? I could. I mean, it's on the sticker. That's what they want, right? When I buy a quart of milk, I do that, don't you? I don't negotiate with them. That's because it's cheap. Something expensive? No, I want a better price than that, right? So I want to know, you need to know what you're willing to pay. That's what this is. Anyway, add them together, what do you got? 1040591. So it is. Okay, what's the $40,591 for? This is only $1 million bond. And you're going to pay $1,045,091. They're paying you too much interest. You're going to get $450,000 of interest, aren't you? Well, that's too much by $40,591. That's how we adjust it. Got it? They're not going to print new bonds every time somebody buys one. Okay? All right. So let's do the journal entries now. And the gentleman made the point that this is what? How much the bond gets issued for. That's what you pay if you want to buy it. That's what you sell it for, right? Otherwise, you won't agree. Right? One side or the other is going to say no. Because we both know what it's worth. Yes?
What is the 1,040,591? What is that?
What is it? That is the
Is
issue.
that how much you pay?
It's the issue price of the bond. If you're investing in it, that's what you get. That's what you pay. If you're issuing it, that's how much you get to borrow. Even though I'm only going to pay them back $1 million, but I'm also going to pay $450 of interest, right? So I'm going to pay them back $1,450,000, and I borrowed $1,041,000. The difference is my real interest, isn't it? That's it. Exactly right. You got
So
it.
if I was buying this bond, I buy it for $1,040,599, but then after 5 years, I get $1,450,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
They will send me interest, $45,000 every 6 months, right?
Yeah.
And at the end, they'll send me $1 million. So I get $1,450,000 back on an investment of $1,041,000. But I didn't invest $1 million, did I? I invested $1,041,000. And if you're borrowing the money, you're only going to pay them back $1 million at the end, but you're also paying them $450,000 in interest, right? But you borrowed $1,041,000, didn't you? That's what you really borrowed. They gave you that much cash. That's what you really borrowed. Got it? Good. You're getting there, guys. Yes.
So if this is like a real life situation and you wanted to calculate it yourself, how would you know that the market value was 80%?
Oh, you could look that up or estimate it yourself. What should it be for this company? Because interest rates are changing all the time, and we'll get there. When you get in your finance class, we'll talk a lot about that. We can look up what the interest rate should be for a company based on the ratings of their bonds. Okay, so there are rating agencies that say how risky the company is or try to, and it's all negotiated, right? So you might think market's 8, and I might think it's 7, and guess what? We're not going to do business with each other because we won't have the same value. So we might both have an opening bid, and then we start talking about, no, wait a minute, I might say, no, this pays 9%, the market's 8, it's not 7. You're trying to pay me, the wrong amount, or you're trying to get the wrong amount out of this bond. No, that's not right, okay? So that's not okay. And so we fight over it, basically. But that's what happens in the marketplace, if people are actually doing the transactions. And if a company's issuing a bond and they're going to issue all their bonds to one company, they directly negotiate what that interest rate's going to be. Nobody cares what the stated rate is. You just use the stated rate to determine how much cash flow it's going to be. You care how much interest you really have to pay. Got it? Those are great questions, you guys. All right, so let's take this then and let's record the journal entries. Okay, what are the journal entries going to look like for this? Let's do both sides. Okay, our value is $1,041,000, right? That's how much we think the bond's going to be issued for. So let's do the investor, who is also what? The purchaser, they're buying it, buyer or purchaser, who is also the lender, huh? They lent the money. That's the same person, huh? Same company. And then on the other side, what do we have? We have a issuer, people issuing the bonds, we call them, okay? I guess they're the seller. One's a buyer, they're the seller. And they are a borrower, I guess. One's a lender. Way to think about it, okay? You get the idea of that? Now, which side of the deal are you on? Okay, let's say it's January 1st, year one. Make life simple. What would be the journal entry on both sides? What happens? If you invest in something, what do? Give them the cash. So what do you do to cash? Credit. Yeah, so no big deal. How much is the cash? We calculated it, didn't we? It's $1,040,591. Everybody agree? If I borrow the money, what happens to me? Yeah, but you get the cash, right? You guys can figure these entries out, can't you? I know you can. Nothing new here. But that's stuff. Debit cash, right? Okay, now if I'm the investor, by convention, I put the entire investment in one account named what? Investment in held to maturity bonds. Okay? $1,040,591. Okay? Debit investment held to maturity bonds, credit cash. Done. Okay? That's what we'll be looking for. What would the issuer do? By convention, they record the bond at its face amount. Okay? So obviously, if I borrowed money, I have the bond what? Payable. Yeah. I have an investment in bonds, but I'm the investor because I made an investment. I have a bond payable if I issued the bond because I've borrowed money. Right? Allergy season started. I have flowers coming in my yard. It's really kind of annoying because the weeds are coming along with them. Yeah. Which I didn't get taken care of. Should have done that on spring break instead of goofing. What's this, you guys? We had a discount last time. What do we have this time? Premium. Sold it for premium. We call it a premium, huh? That's an additional liability account. The real liability is $140,591, right? That's how much I really borrowed. So this is called an addendum liability, an additional liability. So premium on bonds payable. Okay? We're there. All right. So that's what would happen when you issue the bond, huh? Okay. One buys it, invests in it, and the other one issues it. Okay. What happens 6 months later? It is interest. Okay? So let's do it. June 30th or maybe July 1st, depends on what the terms of the bond say. Whatever the interest date is. Okay, anyway. So what happens? Who gets the cash? Who gives up the cash? And how much cash?
Investor gets the cash.
Investor gets the cash. That's why they invested, right? So what do? Debit cash for the investor? Oh, $45,000. How do you know that? That's what the interest is. We already calculated it, didn't we? We know what the interest is, of course. It's $45,000 cash for the interest. Well, who gave up the cash? People that borrowed the money, right? Okay, the issuer. So you credit cash. Got it? Okay, well, why did the investor receive cash? Because they invested their money and earned interest, right? Wouldn't it be interest revenue? Of course it is. How do you increase revenue accounts, everybody? With credits. You've known that a long time, haven't you? Why do you pay out the cash if you're the borrower? Because you borrowed the money, you got the use of the money, and you incurred interest expense. Remember when I was telling you, I told you that students ask me a lot of times, how do I name things? This is an expense that is interest, isn't it? Let's call it interest expense. Let's not get fancy. Let's just call them what they are. There's enough things to worry about, right? Just call it what it is, okay? I find it really annoying when people make up fancy names for things and I can't tell what they are in financial statements, and I have to ask them. Right? Don't call land dirt under your feet, okay? Call it land. Come on, right? Don't call trucks things that you drive around to deliver product. It's a truck. We all know what a truck is. It drives us crazy otherwise, right? So they do everything that way. Just call it what it is. You don't have to add four different words. Right? One's good. Now what we have to do though is know how much interest, don't we? And the interest is going to be the same on both sides. How do you know how much interest? How much was borrowed? $1,040,591. You'll never convince me that's not how much was invested and how much was borrowed. That's how much cash changed hands, right? And how did we calculate how much that was going to be? We discounted it at 4%. So guess what you need to compound at to unravel the deal? 4%. Don't use the 4.5 in this example, right, guys? Otherwise, you'll never get back to zero, right? You'll never unravel the deal. Okay, so 4% of what? The amount you borrowed. What's 4% times 1,040,591? How much is that?
41,635.64.
Okay, 636 maybe. You can round. In real life, of course, we would round. Okay, so 41,636. Okay, that's how much interest revenue there is, and that's how much interest expense there is. Okay? Journal entry does not balance, and you know debits have to equal credits. It's a wonderful thing, isn't it? How much is it not balanced by? How much is it? 3,000. Is that what it is? What's that? I am amortizing the premium. Okay, here you got the premium of $45.91. You're going to amortize some of it by debiting it. See it? Not bad, huh? All right. How about on the other side? I don't have a premium account, but I have investment in held to maturity bonds with $1,041,000 in it, right? And what do I want that account to be? When it pays off at the end, it's only going to be $1 million, right? I want to get it down to $1 million. How do I get it down there? Credit investment in held to maturity bonds. What the deal is, you guys, is the premium is included in that account, right? I'm going to gradually reduce it with those credits, okay? All right, so there's the first one. Let's do the second 6-month period now. What would the second one look like? It'd probably be January 1st or December 31st, whatever, January 1st, year 2, or December 31st, year 1, whatever your payment is. Okay? So anyway, the second one. The journal entry is going to be exactly the same, it'll just be different numbers, huh? Because they're paying interest again. Who's going to receive the interest? The investor does. How much are they going to receive? $45,000. Why are they receiving it? Because they earned interest revenue, and their interest revenue is going to be less than the cash. That's because they're amortizing that premium, right? Okay? Their interest revenue is less than the $450,000 that's going to be paid over the time, right? Because of that $41,000 premium. And then the rest is going to be investment in held to maturity bonds, isn't it? So the entry will be the same every time. Okay? What's going to happen over for the issuer? I bet they give up the cash. I bet they have interest expense. We don't know what it is yet, but it'll be exactly the same as the interest revenue is on the other side. And we are going to do what? Amortize the premium on bonds payable. Okay? All right, gang. What I'd like you to do then is figure out what the interest is. What would you want to do? What was our investment when we started here? On the investor side, what's the investment in held to maturity bonds when we started? 1040 591, was that what it was? Yeah, that's that one in there. What is it on the other side? What's their bond payable? 5 million? Whoops, 1 million? Where did I get 5? 1 million? True? And then there's a premium though in there. And how much is that? 45.91 to start. Right, everybody? They're both 1,040,591. So what do we do with our first entry? We amortize some of that premium, didn't we? Everybody see it? It's 3,364 got amortized. 3,364 got amortized. What's the new balance here? 1,045,991 less the 3,364. You guys know when you make journal entries that you change the balance in accounts, right? I know you know that. So just let yourself use it, right? You know what you put in the account, you know how to adjust the account, you know where you're at now. So where are we at now? What do we have? 37227. Okay. What do we have here? 37227. Gotta be, huh? Because it's going to be 1,037,227 on both sides. Okay, I'm going to do the next 6 months interest. What do I do? Take that amount times 4%. You're there. That's it. So take the 1,037,227 times 4%, and what do you get? 41809 or 8810?
41489.
Okay. 41489. And both sides would do that, right, guys? Huh? So that's how much we have of what? Interest, revenue, and interest expense. True. All you do is change the carrying value. Okay? What happened is they're paying down some of the debt by paying more interest than is required. Huh? Okay? The reason we do all this is you're not going to go print new bonds every single time, so it's kind of a pain. But imagine having to print a bond every time somebody sells bonds. They're being sold constantly every day, right now. People are trading. Does the company that originally issued the bond care who owns the bond or that they're trading it? Not in the least. They got their money. They're going to pay their interest and pay the principal at the end. They don't care who owns it. So if we want to trade them, we need to do this, huh? That's all. So that 41,489. Oops, 41,489 is the interest, right? So how much amortization is there? Over here it's 41,489. How much is it?
3511.
3511. Okay, could you do another one? Easy, huh? What do? Get the new carrying value, take it times 4%. You got a next entry, right? Then the next one, the next one, the next one. What happens, what was this, 10 periods? What happens after you do it 10 times? What's the balance that is going to be left in investment and held-to-maturity bonds after you do it 10 times? 1 million, right? You're going to amortize the full premium to interest revenue, right? You're reducing your interest revenue. What's going to be the balance in the premium bonds payable after you do it 10 times? 0, and all you have is the million left. So in both cases, you have a million. So make sure you can do this one, because I'm going to actually give it to you either on a quiz, test, or final. What's the journal entry at the end? What happens to the investor? I bet they get their money. What will they debit? Cash, $1 million, right? And what won't they have anymore after they get paid? The investment held in maturity bonds is gone. 1 million, okay? All right, on the other side, what happens? I pay off the bond payable. What do I pay it with? Cash, credit cash, 1 million. Debit what, 1 million? Bond payable. Ta-da. We're done with the deal, okay? All right, you guys, forget about how you did on this test, right? And go for it. Go for it. Lots of points left. Lots of points left. Dig in and go for it. What's that? Did you not get your test? Yeah, well. Okay, sure. Yours should be on your test. Yes. Just tear it down. You're much better. You know more than that. You need to drop a class? No, you only have 15.
I have 18.
Is this the worst one?
Yeah, but all
But
my
it's
other
okay.
ones are like better classes.
You'll be okay. Quit working on those so much and work more on this. Okay? Dig in. You did pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Get me going. That's awful. It's awful. But you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be fine. I wouldn't be surprised if you just nail the time. You know, scoring like that,
Yeah,
you know, you're gonna be just
it'll be good. Like, it's just that, like, sometimes, like, I need to review just a little bit more on some things.
yeah, really know